Hi, welcome to this week's Fundraising Friday. This week we're talking about year-end giving campaigns. More than a third of all donations come in during the month of December, with the large number of those actually coming in the last 3 days of the year. So what can you do to maximize your chances of success in your year-end giving campaign? First of all, have one. Yes, it is an incredibly crowded field. People are going to be receiving lots of solicitations at this time of year, but yours will be notably absent if you don't have one. Second, make sure your campaign or your appeal stands out for all the right reasons. So what does that mean? First of all, make sure it's donor-centered. Talk about and to an individual donor, not with global platitudes that sounds like it could go to anyone. Personalize the letter. It should say, Dear Linda, as opposed to Dear Donor, or even Dear Ms. Waston or Dr. Waston. Those kinds of things depersonalize the letter. And think about, what would your reader want to know? I don't want to know number of people you served. I don't want to hear what an awesome organization you are. I want to know about the people you serve. What kinds of issues are they having? What kinds of problems are you solving? And how are you making a difference in their lives? So tell me a story. Start by talking about someone you serve. It can be a real story. It can be a compilation story. It can be just kind of like, here's the typical person that we serve and what they're going through. Make it emotional. Grab my heart and grab my head and tell me why this is a problem worthy of solving. And then tell me specifically what you want me to do. You've got the hook there. How do you want me to respond? Something really weak like, will you please support our organization, won't necessarily get you a check. You want a check. Ask for a check. Will you please make a donation of, put in a specific dollar amount, and then tell me what it's going for. Your gift of $25 will help feed 10 hungry children for the next month. Okay, I know what you want, and I know what difference it's going to make in the community. It's really important when you make that ask that you are really specific. Have $1 amount that you are asking them for. People will say, oh, but what if they can give 50? If they can give 50, they'll give 50. But when you give them a whole host of, will you give 25 or 50 or 75 or 250? People go, whoa, too many decisions for me to make. Give me one decision. Will you give $25? Now, how do we come up with that dollar amount? If it's a non-donor, I usually pick a relatively small dollar amount that they can fairly easily make without thinking about. Something generally in the $25 to $50 range. I also like to pick an odd number because $25.50 just sounds like you pulled it out of the air. Will you make a gift of $27.50 to purchase 5 meals for starving children? Oh, that sounds like it's a real number. Okay, I'll make that kind of a gift. They want to give less, they'll give less. With non-donors, your goal is donor acquisition. You want to get them in the door. And so a small dollar amount will do that. Then you steward the heck out of them. For an existing donor, I take their last dollar amount that they gave and add about 10% to the next logical level. So if your previous donor gave you $50 last time, I would use an Excel spreadsheet. This time I'd ask them maybe to make a gift of $60, $65 and see what kind of response you get from that. Research says that's going to be most effective. Finally, don't do a one and done, because think about your life during the holidays. It's busy. If you're like me, you're getting a ton of solicitations and you're going, yes, no, maybe with them. The no's go in the trash, the maybes sit there. And if I don't hear from you again, it's very easy for that maybe to become a no. So follow up with emails for the people that you have email addresses with. Follow up with social media. Remember, most of the gifts are coming in between Christmas and New Year. You might be closed during that time, but make sure your social media and your email isn't. Be hitting the donors. That's when they have the time to think about it. That's when they're thinking about taxes. That's when they're making their gifts. Make sure you're in front of them. That's this week's Fundraising Friday. Thanks. Have a great weekend.